Hey guys, Bobby Hughes here with Point Firearms, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to use DuraCoating products to DuraCoat a shotgun barrel. This shotgun barrel is off the Benelli Nova. There's another video up on my page about how to disassemble and reassemble a Benelli Nova. It's the same shotgun, and this shotgun is in pretty rough shape, the barrel anyway. It's been used and abused, rode hard and put up wet. And it's got quite a bit of rusting on the barrel now, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not, but quite a bit of rust. I have cleaned the bore. The bore is nice and clean now, so I cleaned the rest of the rifle too, and so now we're ready to go ahead and start DuraCoating our barrel. So the process is fairly straightforward. It's fairly simple. The big thing with DuraCoating is don't get in a rush. You have to be very patient. And if you're not, what we're going to be using with the DuraCoating products is I'm actually going to be using my airbrush, mixing the contents and using the airbrush to paint the barrel. We're going to paint the mag tube, and we're also going to paint the charging arms on that hook to the fore-end grip and that work the action on the shotgun. So we're going to paint those four things. And get them nice and pretty. I'm going to be using DuraCoat's black oxide color, and I'm going to mix it with a little less hardener than what it recommends, and that's going to give us a little bit more flat finish. If you're not familiar with the way DuraCoating works and the DuraCoat products, I recommend checking them out. I'm going to put a link in the comments below that'll take you back to the DuraCoat website. It's the hottest thing on the market right now for sportsmen who use their guns for what they're meant to be used for. Out in the woods hunting. This particular shotgun has seen years and years of waterfowl hunting, so it's been ran through the ringer. Like I said, rode hard and put up wet, and it showed. So it's had a good cleaning now. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the first steps in prepping the barrel for DuraCoating. And what that consists of is using some of, you can use different products. Some people use brake cleaner, things like that. Usually I just spend a little bit extra and get the DuraCoat stripper. It's basically brake cleaner for the most part, so I'm going to use it because I had some left. What we do is we spray it on, get it good and wet, and you work in half sections because it dries so fast. Spray it on, and then we're going to be using a Scotch scouring pad, and what that's going to do is it's going to take off that surface rust as well as take off the outer layers of the finish on it and give us a nice roughed edge to place our DuraCoat on. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. It's very straightforward. I'm not going to videotape it. Like I said, spray it on, scrub it with a scouring pad, spray it to rinse it off, and then we'll use an air compressor to dry the barrel. So I'm going to go ahead and prep the barrel, and then I'll be back with you when I get ready to set my airbrush up. Alright guys, so I've got all my parts prepped. Our 4 parts here. We've got the barrel, which is all smoothed down now. Kind of knocked the edges off of it. Got the rust spots off. So that's done. Got the magazine tube. Got the hanger there and the hanger there. Or I'm sorry, it's not the hangers. I've just got them on hangers. It's the charging arms that go on the fore-end grip. So anyway, I just threw together a couple pieces of wood just to have a rack to hang them on. Nothing fancy there. We've got our spray booth in the background. Got our pressure set. Got everything hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing the DuraCoat products. Alright, so to mix our DuraCoat products for the airbrush, we've got our actual paint, and then we've also got our hardener. Alright, it takes 4 tablespoons of paint per teaspoon of hardener. Now, I'm going to put a little bit less than a teaspoon just because I want a more flat finish. So we shake our paint up. It's got a little ball in there. Alright. Get our paint shaken up. Now I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of paint into my little beaker here. This is a half tablespoon, so I'm going to have to put 8 of these in. Actually, I'm probably not even going to do that. I'm going to do 4 tablespoons. I think I'm going to need more than that, but I'm going to do 4 tablespoons and a half a teaspoon of butter. We're going to cut our dose in half here. Probably need more than that, but I can always mix up more. The cool thing about DuraCoating is it's got about 6 to 8 hours of dwell time, meaning that you can go ahead and mix up enough for what you know you're going to need, hardener and all. I mean, you mix your hardener. Once your hardener is added, you've got about 6 to 8 hours of dwell time. So you can mix your paint and your hardener up, and then you can mix up enough for your whole project, and you don't have to worry about it going hard before you get done with your project, basically. So now I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of hardener in. Put our cap on our beaker. Give it a little shake. And then this is our little container for our airbrush. So you don't want to fill this more than about 2/3 of the way up. It's important to have rags so you can wipe the paint off of the rim. It doesn't get all over everything. Try to keep everything nice and clean. Alright, and then put our cap on this. And we'll move over to our spray booth where our airbrush is. Alright, so I've got my air compressor set on about 25 pounds of pressure right now. So what we want to do is go ahead and do some test sprays. And it'll take a little while to get bled up into the system. That's about perfect for where I want it. Alright, I am going to start with these. Actually, screw it. Let's start with the barrel. Alright, so I've got my barrel prepped, like I said, and I've got dowels in the end of it, in both ends, to keep paint from going in the barrel. I'm just going to start down here on this end. Real thin coats is the trick. May have to do several coats, but we want to keep them real thin. Alright, so I just finished the first coat on all 4 of my pieces. Now, if you've never done automotive painting before, then you're probably it's gonna take some practice. DuraCoating is a lot like automotive painting or painting with a high pressure, low volume spray gun or airbrushing or whatever. It's all the same. Your first coat, you're gonna be able to see through if you do it properly. All you're trying to do is get that initial base coat. It gives it that tackiness. And then when you go in with that second coat, it kind of fills the tackiness in and makes a nice smooth finish. Now with DuraCoating, you want to put several layers on, several thin layers. Because if you put thick layers on and then you hang them up to dry, you're going to get runs in it, you're going to get bubbles in it, and when you go to put your gun back together, it's going to be a really tight fit and it's going to scratch your DuraCoating off. So you want to make sure and do thin layers, thin coats, and give it about 10 or 15 minutes between each coat. Now, in this case, I have my airbrush set on 25 pounds. Every airbrush is going to be different, but they recommend with airbrush use, with DuraCoating, you use somewhere between 15 and 50 pounds. So you have to find that medium that's good for you. Anything over 50 pounds is going to push it out too fast. Anything less than 15 pounds, it's going to leave spatter in your paint. So you got to find that happy medium for what you want, what you need. So thin coats, find your pressure, do some testing. If you've never done it before, don't be afraid to do it. You can buy cheap airbrush kits and they work pretty good. This one that I'm using is a pretty cheap setup. It's not very expensive at all. I think I paid $25 for this airbrush setup. So, and like we talked about in the other videos, if you haven't already seen it, you need to make sure and have a good air compressor setup to give you a nice clean flow of air. I'm using an inline water filter with a regulator. So that way I can keep my air compressor at a high pressure. I can adjust my pressure here by just reaching out here and adjusting if I need to without having to drop everything and run over there. So if you don't know how to do that, go back and check out the video on how to set up a airbrush air pressure system. And also, if you're interested in how to build this nifty little homemade spray booth, you can check that out on that video, or I've got a video on YouTube for that too. So go back to my channel and check those out. So I'm going to keep painting, and I'm going to let you guys watch in high speed for a little while, and then I'll come back on and close this out when I get done. Alright guys, so I've got 5 coats done now. They've been setting for a little while. I'm getting ready to put the 6th and final coat on. The 6th coat is going to be a little bit heavier than the rest of the coats just to give it a nice finish. But don't go too much because you'll start getting runs in it, and you'd hate to get runs in it after you've done this good a job. So 6th coat, it's going to be the final coat. You have to kind of judge it. Sometimes you have to put more coats on. Sometimes you don't put as many. So this one looks good, 5 coats in. We're going to put one more final coat on it, be wrapping up, and then we'll get into cleaning our airbrush and everything. Not going to do a video on that part just because I don't want to waste your time. Anytime you use an airbrush, especially with DuraCoating, you want to make sure that you do a good job at cleaning up. Paint thinner works really good to clean up with. Be sure and clean your jar out, your hopper. Once you get your hopper cleaned out, then go ahead and fill it full of paint thinner and run it through your airbrush just to help clean it all out, and the air with the paint thinner will help blow all that paint out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the 6th coat done. Alright guys, so that's all 6 coats. Our shotgun barrel and the accessories that we painted look fantastic. Went with the black oxide. So if you want to see the finished product all completed and put back together, go ahead and watch the Benelli Nova disassembly reassembly video, and in the reassembly you'll get to see the finished barrel and the accessories. So anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. Just an FYI for you on DuraCoating. Once you finish up, you got about 30 minutes until it's dry to the touch, meaning you can touch it lightly and you won't have any issues in about 30 minutes. You want to let it dry for about 24 hours before you reassemble or handle it a lot and reassemble your gun. After about 2 days, you can shoot it normal wear or normal shooting, but heavy use out in the water, and especially for this shotgun out in the ponds and stuff in the fall doing waterfowl, you want to wait about 2 to 3 weeks to let that paint really cure. Now you can speed up that process by using an oven and baking it. You can use your oven at home, bake it on about 110 for about 6 hours, and you're completely cured and you're good to go. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to get this thing cleaned up. Like I said, if you want to see the finished product, watch the Benelli Nova reassembly video, and you'll be able to see the finished product and the reassembly part. Always appreciate your comments, questions, concerns, and don't forget to rate and subscribe. Until next time guys, get out there, shoot some guns, be safe, and most importantly, have fun. This is Bobby with Point Firearms. Thanks for watching.